What's the one memento Blake wants from the voice set? Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Blake Shelton is preparing for season 23 of The Voice to start airing in March. This being his final season, the country singer has shared what he wants to take from the set. After all, he has been there for over a decade and is the only OG coach remaining. So what exactly does he hope to snag when he departs? Take your guesses and read on for more details. What's the one memento Blake Shelton wants from the voice set? As a viewer at home, it's hard to know which objects on the voice set are superimposed and which are concrete. With Blake Shelton preparing for his last season, he is clearly beginning to get sentimental. That being said, he obviously has been looking around the set trying to decide what he wants to snag once he departs. The musician and reality star has already shared what he wants from his co-coaches as retirement gifts. Now Blake Shelton has opened up to people about what he desperately wants to take with him when his time is over. He really wants to take his chair with him. However, he is uncertain whether or not the show will allow him to take it with him when he exits. "I don't know if they're gonna offer that or not. I feel like they owe me a Dan chair though," he started. Blake went on to add, "I mean, who else can sit in my chair? It's like the Three Bears. I don't want anybody else sitting in my chair. I'm gonna try to get that away from them. Maybe I'll have to buy it or something." Blake Shelton has been faithful to his chair since the series began in 2011. Adam Levine started with him, and they formed a great bromance together. Unfortunately, the duo broke up when Adam left the series in 2019 after season 16. Back to Blake getting his chair as a parting gift, he did follow up with this. "I'm sure they're gonna say, well, the one thing you took was a lot of our money, so you should be happy with that." It was reported that Blake makes around $13 million per season as a coach, so he essentially made $26 million per year. What's next for Blake? There is a lot ahead for Blake Shelton. Season 23 of The Voice still has to air, and he is going for win number 10. Will he succeed? He is definitely very determined. Additionally, his new reality series with Carson Daly and Nikki Bella, Barmageddon, just finished its first season. Blake also has his music, Clearly, and a new Old Red Bar locale, this time in Las Vegas. It is his 6th location and will encompass live music every single night. Finally, he will get to spend a lot more time with his wife, Gwen Stefani, so there is a lot on his plate. Now if he can only get this chair. Do you think that Blake Shelton deserves this chair? Let us know in the comments below. The lights dimmed, and the familiar strains of the theme music filled the studio. For the last time, Blake Shelton took his seat in the iconic red chair, looking out over the stage where countless dreams had been launched. It was the final season of The Voice for Blake, the country superstar who would become synonymous with the show. After many years as a coach, guiding and mentoring aspiring singers, he was preparing to say goodbye to a place that had been a second home. The atmosphere on set was bittersweet. There was an air of celebration for Blake's remarkable run, but also a sense of sadness that an era was coming to an end. Fellow coaches, crew members, and even contestants found themselves reflecting on the memories and moments that had made the show so special. As the final live shows approached, Blake couldn't help but feel nostalgic. He had watched hundreds of talented individuals grace the stage, had forged lifelong friendships with his fellow coaches, and had grown both as an artist and a mentor. The thought of leaving it all behind was almost overwhelming. In the days leading up to the finale, Blake found himself wandering the set, taking in every detail. The giant red chairs, the massive stage, the rehearsal rooms, all of it held memories. He knew he wanted to take something with him, a memento that would remind him of his time on The Voice. But what should it be? Blake pondered this question as he moved through the familiar spaces. Should it be something small and personal, or something that truly encapsulated his experience on the show? One evening, he mentioned his dilemma to Gwen Stefani, his fellow coach and partner. They were sitting in his dressing room, reminiscing about their favorite moments on the show. "Blake, you've got to find something that really means something to you," Gwen suggested. "Something that represents everything you've been through here." Blake nodded, deep in thought. "Yeah, but there are so many memories. How do I choose just one thing? As Blake continued to ponder what memento to take, he found himself lost in memories of the most impactful moments on the show. There was the first time he turned his chair around for a contestant, the rush of excitement when his team won the competition, and the countless times he had shared laughter and friendly banter with the other coaches. He remembered the incredible performances, the emotional stories of the contestants, and the way he had seen so many of them grow and develop under his guidance. He recalled the camaraderie of the crew and the friendships that had blossomed over the years. One particular memory stood out: the moment he met the contestant who would go on to become one of the biggest stars to come out of The Voice. He remembered their first audition, the nervous energy, and the undeniable talent that had shone through. That contestant's journey had been a testament to the power of the show and the impact it could have on people's lives. Blake's mind kept returning to the iconic red chairs. Those chairs had become a symbol of the show, a place where dreams were realized and futures were changed. He had spent countless hours in his chair, making decisions that would shape the lives of the contestants who stood before him. He knew that the chair was too large and impractical to take home, but he couldn't shake the feeling that it held a special significance. The chair was where it had all happened, where he had laughed, cried, and made some of the most important decisions of his career. Then it hit him. He didn't need to take the entire chair. What if he could take a piece of it? A small, meaningful part that he could keep with him as a reminder of his time on The Voice. The idea of taking a piece of the chair quickly took root. As Blake thought about it, he realized that the button on the armrest, the one they pressed to turn their chairs around, was the perfect memento. That button symbolized the very essence of The Voice, the moment when a coach made a choice, took a chance, and opened the door to someone's dream. Blake smiled as he imagined having that button on display in his home. It would be a constant reminder of all the incredible moments he had experienced on the show, and the lives he had helped change with a single press. Excited by the idea, Blake decided to share it with the production team. He knew it might be a bit unconventional, but he hoped they would understand how much it meant to him. The next day, Blake approached the show's executive producer with his request. He explained why the button was so significant to him and how much it would mean to have it as a keepsake. The producer listened thoughtfully, nodding as Blake spoke. "I think that's a wonderful idea, Blake," she said with a smile. "You've given so much to this show, and I think it's only fitting that you have something meaningful to remember it by. We'll make sure you get your button." Blake felt a wave of relief and gratitude. "Thank you so much. This show has been such a huge part of my life, and this button will always remind me of the incredible journey we've had together." As the final live show approached, the atmosphere was electric. Fans, contestants, and crew members alike were eager to celebrate Blake's incredible journey on The Voice. There were tears and laughter, heartfelt speeches, and unforgettable performances. Blake took the stage one last time, his heart full of emotions. He thanked everyone who had been part of the show, from the contestants to his fellow coaches, to the crew who worked tirelessly behind the scenes. "This has been one hell of a ride," he said, his voice choked with emotion. "I've loved every minute of it, and I'm grateful to each and every one of you. This show has changed my life, and I hope it's changed yours too." The audience erupted in applause, and Blake knew that this moment would stay with him forever. It was a celebration of everything he had achieved and the countless lives he had touched. At the end of the show, the executive producer took the stage to make a special presentation. "Blake, you've been an integral part of The Voice since the very beginning," she said. "Your passion, dedication, and heart have made this show what it is today. We wanted to give you something special to remember your time here." With that, she handed Blake a beautifully crafted display case. Inside, mounted on a velvet background, was the button from his chair. The plaque beneath it read, "In recognition of your incredible journey on The Voice. Thank you for turning dreams into reality." Blake was overwhelmed with emotion as he accepted the gift. He held it up for the audience to see, tears in his eyes. "Thank you," he said, his voice trembling. "This means more to me than you can imagine." As Blake left the stage that night, he felt a profound sense of closure. The button, now safely in his possession, was more than just a piece of memorabilia.